Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, how are you guys doing? I read an incident about Imam Sufyan At-Thawri that really touched me. Sufyan At-Thawri was one of the Imams of the Salaf. He was one of the most knowledgeable men of his time. He actually had his own madhab, the same way Imam Malik has a madhab, Imam Ahmad, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, they all have madhab. So did Imam Sufyan Al-Thawri, but just his students didn't carry it on. So he's a very knowledgeable man, and one thing that you read when you study the lives of the great scholars is that they sacrifice a lot of things when it comes to seeking knowledge. One of the things that they sacrifice is food, because they put all their time, effort into seeking knowledge. Sometimes they will forget to eat, or sometimes they will not have the resources to eat. They'll be in poverty seeking knowledge. Imam Sufyan At-Thawri rahmallahu ta'ala, it's mentioned that there was a moment, an occasion where he went 3 days without having anything to eat. Can you imagine 3 days and you don't put a single substance into your mouth? Can you imagine that? 3 days he didn't have anything to eat. On the third day, he was in a lot of difficulty due to the hunger. So he was walking, and as he was walking past, there was a wedding. And in the wedding, there was food. So he thought to himself, let me go there and let me get some food. So he said, I had to fight my nafs to stop myself from going in. What does he mean? He hasn't been invited. It's not his food to eat. He would be unjustly taking the food of someone, and it's not his right to eat it. So he said, I was in so much hunger that I actually had to fight my nafs to say, no, don't go in. And I kept it moving. He said, subhanAllah, as I kept it moving and I gave that up for the sake of Allah, one of his family members, I think it mentioned his daughter, if memory serves me correct. I read it about a month ago. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, so I'm going off my memory right now. But someone brought him some food. But what was the food? Was it a meal? Was it something amazing? It was literally like some wheat kind of thing and water, and he mixed it together and he crushed it and he ate it. Although it wasn't a great meal, it was a meal. And for a person who's in extreme hunger, food is a blessing, whatever that food may be, right? But there's another story that's similar to that I also want to mention to you, which I think can be nice for a lot of our brothers and sisters who are single and trying to get married, which is similar to the story of Sufyan Al-Thawri. It's not of an Imam of the Salaf. It's someone who's much later, who is seeking knowledge in Egypt. He was a student of knowledge in Egypt. And as he was studying in Egypt, he was again going through, this is not now, this is back in the day, he was going through, again, extreme hunger. And days had gone by and he had not eaten. Same situation as Sufyan Al-Thawri. And one day he's out and about and he smells the aroma of such a, amazing meal. He follows the aroma and he notices that there's a house, there's a building, inside there is a meal that's been set up. Guess what? Again, for a wedding. He goes in there and he grabs a hold of some of the food. He looks at it, about to eat it, and he says to himself, this is not permissible. He puts it back. This is somebody else's food. I'm sneaking up, I'm taking it. Look, this person's in hunger. Really in hunger. Look at the consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have. So he puts the food back and he gives it up for the sake of Allah. He goes back to his room. When he's in his room, going back to what he needs to go back to, studying or whatever, there's a knock on the door. At the door, who is it? It's his sheikh. And his sheikh is standing with another man. The sheikh says, Assalamu alaikum, to the student. He said, this man came to me and he said to me, I have a daughter and I want to get her married. Do you have any students that you'd recommend? He said, I said to myself that I don't know any student better than you. Get up. It's your wedding. It's your wedding. So he takes him, and he's just shocked. Thinking, I'm getting married? I mean, a second ago I was broke. So broke. I was about to pick up someone's food that wasn't even mine and eat it. And now someone wants to marry their daughter to me? He said, yeah, this is it. It's going to be a father-in-law, inshallah. So he takes him. They get married. He does the nikah. He's got a wife now. And he sits down and they serve the wedding feast. When they bring the food to him and he sees the food, he said, Subhanallah, this is the same meal that I was about to eat earlier. He said, I came to this food before, single, hungry, just, low. And I left it for the sake of Allah and the fear of Allah. And because I did, Allah brought me back to the same meal, but this time married, with a wife, content, and in a good way, honored. And he ate it. My brothers and sisters, there's a beautiful fa'idah in this. Is that, when you fear Allah, Allah provides for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Anyone who fears Allah, Allah will find a way out for him and provide from a place that he never ever imagined. Now you have to understand taqwa. There's a relationship between taqwa and knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more consciousness of Allah, the more taqwa of Allah you have. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us. He said, "A'lamukum billahi ana." Or kama qala. He said, the one that has the most knowledge of Allah from all of you is me, and I am also the one who has the most taqwa. Allah said in another ayah, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. The only ones who really fear Allah are the people who have knowledge. Other people have knowledge. Taqwa obviously is broader than just fear, but obviously it's a part of it. So we find that the ones who have knowledge are the ones whose taqwa is greater, and the one whose taqwa is greater, based on the ayah that I just mentioned, are the ones who are most likely to see these kind of openings and these successes, even if Allah will test you for a bit, like He did with all of these men that we mentioned. But eventually Allah will give you that opening. A lot of people wonder why life is so hard. Perhaps it's to do with your taqwa. Maybe your taqwa is low. And one of the best ways, if not one of the most effective ways, after asking and seeking help and tawfiq from Allah Azza wa Jal, is to seek knowledge. Inshallah ta'ala, I think it would be beneficial and fitting here to mention that we have now officially announced our 5-year Islamic Studies Diploma on the Knowledge College. We're officially launching it for registration on Monday the 15th of March. But if you'd like to register, you have to join our Telegram group by clicking the link below. And if you have questions and more information, then inshallah it could be answered there as well. So inshallah ta'ala, if you'd like to pursue your path in seeking knowledge with us, then fantastic. But whether you do it with us or not, the point is seek knowledge, so you can increase your taqwa, and then you can find some of the great things that a lot of the people of knowledge found. The help of Allah, how it came to a lot of these people when they were in some of the most difficult times. Perhaps we're hoping to get a wife or a husband as well, inshallah. So click the link below bi'idhnillah and join our Telegram group, and we'll be updating you with regards to the 5-year program, inshallah. And Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.